Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and Apple Arcade is now finally out for everyone running iOS 13, and today we're going to be taking a first look and full review. Now at the moment you can get 1 month free trial, and then after that it's going to cost you around $4.99 here in the UK or around $4.99 in the US, and it's going to be pretty much available worldwide starting today, at least in 150 countries or more. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Apple Arcade interface, seeing exactly what it's all about, and of course the most important thing, testing some of these awesome new and also exclusive games. So let's take a look. So first up then we have the interface, and I'll be honest guys, it reminds me very much of the Xbox Arcade if you remember that from the Xbox 360 days. As you can see here, you've got all of the information in regards to the games, you've got screenshots, videos, large thumbnails, you can go through and access all of the games that you need to, and just in general have a nice browse around. Now the great thing about this is obviously because you're going to be paying a monthly subscription, you don't have to pay for any individual game, they're all going to be included with that $4.99 a month, or if you're using the free trial, you've got access to a ton of games free of charge for 1 month. You've got a section for the new arrivals, as you can see just here, but obviously pretty much all of these games are going to be new games, and then you've got some information here in regards to some other games that you can take a look at, and one of those games is Oceanhorn 2. Now for me, I played Oceanhorn a ton when it was available on iOS and also on Android. It's a really good game. The second one, as you can see here, is getting some really great scores, 4.9 out of 5, and as you can see from these screenshots, it basically looks like Zelda but for iOS devices. The graphics look really nice, as you can see, very bright, very vibrant, and that's one of the main games that we're going to be taking a look at in this video because again it's really been pushed with the Apple Arcade. You also have a section for only on Arcade, as because this is actually going to have some exclusive games as well. Some of the games that you're going to be seeing in Apple Arcade you will be able to purchase separately if you want to, and you don't want to pay a monthly subscription, but these games here are going to be specific for Apple Arcade. You've also got some help options for some of the new games that have been released as well. So Hot Lava here, for example, it's going to give you some tips, tricks, and again it's going to allow you to install the actual game itself, so that's quite handy to have if you're a little bit stuck or don't really understand the game. At least it's going to give you a little bit of an insight and a little bit more information. You've also then got the full list of games and the categories here as well, with some really nice joystick icon artwork which I really do enjoy. If we head into adventure, for example, you can see just exactly what it looks like. It's going to give you some options for some adventure games basically. Down the bottom you can see thumbnails for all of the games, and then if you click on the very bottom you can see it's going to give you a full list of all the games that are available that have been released in September 2019. And again there are a ton to choose from, so for me when I'm paying that $4.99 it's not really going to be too much of a problem because you do have a ton of games here to actually pick and choose, a lot of different categories, and again different varieties in regards to game type. What we're going to be doing now though is take a look at one of these specific games, installing it, see exactly how it works, and just in general see what that process is like. So if you click on the get option, it's going to do like it does with a free application, and then it's just going to start downloading as normal. Now where that's going to be downloading to I'm not 100%, so we'll take a look in a moment once it's finished the download. And that took a little bit longer than I thought, but as you can see here you're now available to play the game. Is it just in the arcade though? So I'm just going to go back to my home screen, go across to where a new application would normally be installed, and you can see that it is right there. So it does actually put an icon on the home screen. You don't have to run everything from within the Apple Arcade app itself with the App Store. You get a nice arcade splash screen, some information with regards to the developer, and then you're just pretty much in the game as you would be if you were to just install it on your device. Now already I can see some really nice graphics, but again we're going to get into that in just a moment as well. So again I'm just going to go ahead, press start, have a quick look around, and everything with this is also available with a controller. So if I go up here to my main screen, the fact it's got a separate application, you can then launch it from your standard iPad home screen or your iOS device, and you can see here that it's not running from the arcade as it's got two different applications open. So again it just uses the app as any normal application that you install. It's just that you get it from the arcade section. I also just want to check if they've got a game called Cityscapes, which they do, as it's here on the main screen. I've been following this game for a very long time. A lot of people are a little bit disappointed the fact that it's only available on Apple Arcade, so if you're looking for that next generation skateboard game on a mobile device, Apple Arcade at the moment is kind of the only place to get it. So I'm definitely going to be trying out this game and a ton of other games. I'm going to obviously use the built-in screen recorder on my iPad to take a look at some gameplay, so let's have a quick look. Now all of the gameplay that you're seeing in the background is going to be shot on the iPad Pro 11-inch, and again that's going to be using the A12 Bionic chip, and I'm going to be playing all of these games with my Xbox One S controller. I'm going to put a link in the description below to show you guys exactly how to use a controller on your iOS device using Apple Arcade, but in regards to the gaming experience, I definitely can't fault it. Some of these games look absolutely incredible. The graphics are really nice, the frame rate is really good. Obviously this whole video is going to be filmed in 30 frames a second, so you're not really going to see how great the frame rate looks, but trust me when I say that every game that I've tried and every game that I've recorded ran at a very smooth 60 frames per second. Now obviously that's going to be different if you're going to be using slightly older hardware, but for me I've had no issues whatsoever, and the experience of using the controller with it as well, it felt very much like I was using a games console and not an iPad. I tried out some of the key games that Apple showed off at their keynote as well, so again, having a look at some of these more hyped up games, it was definitely worth the wait. Now I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of some of these games when I saw them originally on screen, however actually going through and playing them and just the ease and simplicity of having them all in one place with Apple Arcade was actually really nice. Now don't get me wrong, Google are doing something very similar, however they're going to have a completely separate platform called Stadia, which again is kind of going to be their game streaming service. However, Apple Arcade isn't really a streaming service, it's just one place with one monthly subscription where you guys can get access to a ton of games and also some exclusives as well, so a little bit different. Of course I'm going to try and get my hands on Google Stadia when it does come out to give you guys a full review, so again leave a thumbs up down below if that's something that you want to see. But overall, I was very impressed with the gameplay and just in general the selection of games that was available with Apple Arcade. I would definitely recommend trying it out. You do get that 1 month free trial, and what I'm going to be doing is playing a ton of games over the next 30 days to see if it is actually worth it, if I can really get into some of these games, for instance Oceanhorn 2, because it looks a little bit like Zelda. I think it's going to be a really awesome game that I could play for a longer period of time compared to maybe like Angry Birds for example, where it's more of a pick up and play option. I think a ton of these games in Apple Arcade are going to be a little bit more time investing, which I don't really have an issue with. As always, links to everything that I've talked about will be linked in the description down below, and if you guys did enjoy this video and are looking to try out Apple Arcade, let me know by leaving a thumbs up down below, and if you've got any awesome games that you want me to look at from the arcade itself, let me know in the comments section or on Twitter at Copper vs Glass. If you're not already subscribed, now's a great time to do so, and also turn on that notification bell so you're notified anytime that I post a new video here on the channel. As you can see from the last week or so, I'm pumping out a ton more content as well, so again a subscription will be much appreciated. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass, thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.